Hello and happy Sunday out there. NFL Week 14 already. How could it be? This is the PHLY Bet Show. I am Jamie Lynch. We are presented by Bet365. Find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. They have the widest range of live in-game betting. They basically perfected it. They have the best early payout offers across sports. And right now, when you use promo code PHLY365 at sign up, you can get $150 in bonus bets when you deposit $10 and make a $5 wager. Let's hopefully turn some of that money into more money. It's already week 14 of the NFL season, which is pretty bonkers, actually. It feels like September just started not long ago. We'll deep dive the slate today, but as always, we'll start with a couple league trends, and then we'll kick it off with the Panthers-Eagles game coming up at 1 o'clock. This one is pretty wild to me. Home field advantage does not exist this year in the NFL. Teams are 95-95 in home games this year. That is kind of wild to me that there's really no true home field advantage this year. It's an even Steven across the board. A little bit of history for the New York Giants today. They're on a 7-game against the spread losing streak facing the Saints today. This is the Giants' longest against the spread losing streak as a franchise in the Super Bowl era. So congrats to the New York Giants on all their success. All right, let's get it started. Panthers-Eagles, 1 o'clock today in South Philadelphia. It's kind of a gorgeous day outside. Not too cold, not too windy after the past couple days. Currently, this is a whopper of a line. The Eagles are a 14-point favorite. I do not touch 14-point lines in the NFL. That being said, I'm not going to bet it, but I do think the Eagles can cover it. I just hate spreads this big in the NFL. Loathe them. Over-under on this one comes in at 45. If you wanted to take the Eagles on the money line today, they're minus 1,000. So if you wanted to win $100, all you have to do is risk 1,000. What could go wrong? A lot. Don't do that. So some of the nitty-gritty about this game. The Panthers, not very good. Eagles going for their franchise record 9th win in a row. Big favorites in the NFL this year have gone both ways. Pretty split. Double-digit favorites started the year 5-0 against the spread through 11 weeks. In weeks 12 and 13, double-digit favorites have gone 0-3 against the spread, bringing it to 5-3 on the year. The Panthers are 10 games away. More history on the line here. From the modern record of consecutive games started as an underdog. The Panthers currently sit at 33. The record belongs to the 2007 through 10 Rams. They did so in 43 straight games. So pretty impressive stuff there by the Panthers. The Eagles have one of the stingiest pass defenses in the entire NFL. As we know, we watch this team weekly. Bryce Young has faced 3 teams so far, allowing under 180 passing yards per game. Carolina is 0-3 in those matchups and against the spread this season, with Bryce just scoring 41 points in those 3 games, basically coming in just under 14 points a game in those instances. The Panthers are on a current 4-game against the spread winning streak, which is tied for the longest active streak of any team in the NFL, alongside the Eagles and the Broncos. This is the first game since 1990 in the wild card era where both teams are on a 4+ game against the spread winning streak, but one has a winning percentage of less than 25% and the other has a winning percentage over 80%. So kind of funny when you think about it in those terms. As a favorite of a full touchdown or more, Jalen Hurts in his career, not very good. Just 3-9-1 against the spread. He's lost 5 straight games in this exact spot, including 1-9 against the spread in his last 10 starts as that big favorite. He is the second worst, least profitable quarterback with those big spreads. But if it makes you feel any better, there's 43 quarterbacks that qualified for this stat. Patrick Mahomes is 43rd. Joe Burrow is 41st. Jalen Hurts is 42nd. So it's kind of a weird thing in that it's almost an honor to have those big spreads because you and your team are pretty good. Do you cover them? That's why we hate big spreads, don't we, folks? All right, going with the Eagles. I hate the 14. I hate that money line. I'm not going to play it personally, but I do think they can cover that. Over under on this one, don't really want to touch that much. I would lean slight over, but then again, you're counting on the Panthers to contribute 14 to 17 points against a very stingy defense. A player prop I like is A.J. Brown over the 76.5 receiving yards today. I saw one perusing the defense that jumped out to me in Neon. Nakobe Dean to record a sack plus 325 today. And of course, we have a custom PHLY odds boost up on Bet365 right now. It's Jalen Hurts to score 2 touchdowns, Eagles money line, Jalen Hurts or A.J. Brown over 70 receiving yards. That's plus 850 if you want to hop in on that boost. So there's what I like about the Eagles games. Now let's dive into the rest of the slate. There's some bad matchups today. Full disclosure. The Atlanta Falcons and a reeling Kirk Cousins. That guy stinks versus the Minnesota Vikings. Over the last 5 seasons, Kirk Cousins is 16-30 against the spread playing in indoor games, where it is in Minnesota today, including a 7-16 against the spread streak over the last 3 years. Since 2020, Kirk Cousins is the last of 92 qualified quarterbacks playing against the spread in domes. The Atlanta Falcons are currently +6 in Minnesota. Over-under on this one's 47, plus 225 if you want to grab Kirk Cousins on the money line. I do not. He's not a good dog. Kirk Cousins since 2022 is 3-9 against the spread as a dog. When Kirk Cousins faces a blitz-heavy defense like he will with Brian Flores in the Vikings defense today, and he gets sacked 3+ times, well, it's lights out. He is, when he gets sacked 3+ times, Atlanta is 1-3 straight up on the year, losing the last 3 games straight. Kirk Cousins is 1-5 straight up in those situations over the last 2 years. So you would expect Minnesota sends the house today at Kirk Cousins. He can't really move that well. If you're into sack props, you might want to take a look at the Vikings sack total today, or maybe some individuals. Over the last 2 seasons, the NFC North is 52-30-2 against the spread, 63% cover rate versus non-divisional opponents. This year, they're 24-12, 67%, which is the best against the spread mark for any division versus the rest of the league. We're going with the Vikings in this one. Give me the 6 with them. The Cleveland Browns at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Mike Tomlin, I don't believe, has been in division swept in maybe ever. And the Cleveland Browns and Jameis Winston, his horses are ready for battle, have a chance to do that today to season sweep the Steelers after beating them 2 weeks ago. Now, the Browns have lost 20 consecutive games in Pittsburgh. Their last win came behind Tim Couch back in October 2003. So not a friendly place to play for them. The Steelers are playing their 3rd consecutive game versus a divisional opponent this week, including the Browns 2 weeks ago. Tomlin's career with the Steelers, no opposing quarterback is 2-0 straight up or better against him. Jameis Winston has an opportunity, which would be very funny. Underdogs in the AFC North divisional games have been a cash cow. They're 50-31 against the spread, another 62%er. Since 2018, they're 9-2 straight up, 8-3 against the spread on short rest. That is 8-3 against the spread on short rest under head coach Kevin Stefanski there for the Browns. Give me the Browns in this one. Currently, the line is the Browns plus the 6.5. I think Pittsburgh wins the game, but I think Cleveland might keep this one close. Over-under is at 43.5. All right, next up, Jacksonville Jaguars, Tennessee Titans. This game sucks. It's just, who wants to watch this? I don't even think Jaguars and Titans fans want to watch this. The Jaguars are +3. Over-under comes in at 40 on this one. Dougie P still has a job somehow. The Titans are 2-10 against the spread this year, the worst against the spread mark in the NFL. The worst since the 1990 Ravens, who went 3-13 against the spread back in 2007. And Doug, as an underdog, well, he's done pretty well in his career. 38-28 against the spread, including 6-2 this season against the spread. But the problem is Mac Jones is starting. Mac Jones is bad at football. Mac Jones has started 2 games for Jacksonville this year. The Jags have scored 13 points in both games. In his career, Mac Jones is 5-17 against the spread when listed as an underdog, the 3rd worst mark of any quarterback since 2003. That being said, No, I'm not going to do it. Give me the Titans on this one. Their defense at least is good. They'll shut down Mac Jones. So give me the Titans -3. Next up, the Las Vegas Raiders versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This is some kind of Raider Buccaneer swashbuckling pirate fest today in Tampa Bay at the pirate ship. The Raiders fall behind pretty much in every single game. In all 12 games this season, they have been down 10-plus points at some point. They are the first team to do that since the 1986 Indianapolis Colts. Not only do they fall behind, they don't create turnovers on defense. Through 12 games, they have just 5 takeaways. That's unbelievable. The fewest since the 1990 and 2018 49ers teams. Brock Bowers, if you like player props, Brock Bowers is a great player prop to take right now. Entering week 14, Brock Bowers leads the league in receptions with 84. No rookie since the merger has led the NFL in receptions for a full season, and the most receptions a rookie tight end in NFL history had was Sam Laporta last year with 86. So Brock Bowers is changing the game. I would look to take his over, whether it be on receptions or yards. He's pretty much their entire offense. Since 2017, the Raiders are 3-10 straight up and 3-8-2 against the spread a week after coming off a Chiefs game, which they had on Thanksgiving or Black Friday, I should say. Give me the Tampa Bay Bucs in this one. Another game that nobody cares about. The New Orleans Saints at the New York Giants. Gross. The Saints are 5-point road favorites. Over-under on this one is 41. If the Giants don't cover, they would also own a 5-game against the spread losing streak at home, the worst as in their franchise since 2003 when they lost 7 in a row at home against the spread. Derek Carr, he sucks in the cold. When it's a condition like this where it's 40 to 45 degree weather, he is just 1-4 against the spread. And it's hard to back Derek Carr here, but you might have to, maybe. I don't know. It might be Cutlets time. The role of favorite hasn't been kind to Derek Carr in his career. He's 22-39-2 against the spread, just 36% in his career, the worst mark of any quarterback since 2003. Derek Carr hasn't finished the season 500 against the spread or better since 2018 and 500 against the spread or better since 2016. As a road favorite, Derek Carr is just 1-14-1 in his last 16 starts in that spot. His lone win coming against the Colts, an indoor team, much like the Saints were. Give me the Giants. There's no way you can back Derek Carr in this one. I'll take the Giants, as gross as that is. Another kind of gross game, the Jets and Dolphins. There's really some bad product out there at this time of the year. It's spoiler time for a lot of these teams. Currently, let's take a look here that the Jets are. I just lost my place. There we go. The Jets are +6 down in Miami. Over-under on this one is 45. Tua Tagovailoa has faced the Jets 4 times in his career, and he is 4-0 straight up. He is 11-0 straight up versus the Jets and Patriots, and 1-8 versus the Bills. So in division, he does great as long as it's not Josh Allen. Tua has closed as a favorite 6 or more times, six or more points 16 times. Miami is 15-1 straight up and 12-4 against the spread in those games. We don't need to spend any more time on this. There's some more stat. Just take the Dolphins. The Jets are terrible. Aaron Rodgers is really, really bad. All right, the 4 o'clock slate. The Seattle Seahawks are heading to the Arizona Cardinals. Cardinals -2.5, which is actually a little bit surprising as the home team there. Probably tells you to take the Seahawks, but I'm not going to do that. Excuse me. Dating back to October 1st, the Cardinals defense has not allowed a single touchdown to the opposing team. 26 drives by opponents without a touchdown. Since the beginning of the 2022 season, the Cardinals are 4-11 against the spread versus the NFC West, the least profitable team against division play in the entire NFL. And it's a brutal spot for Seattle. In Week 12, they were home versus the Cardinals. Then in Week 13, they traveled across the country to face the Jets. Now Week 14, they're back across the country to face the Cardinals again. Teams that make that many time zone travels over the last decade are 30, 58, and 1 against the spread. That being said, it looks kind of trappish, but I'll take the Cardinals minus the 2.5 in this one. The Bills and Rams are currently the Bills 3.5-point favorites. Over under on this one is 50. This seems pretty easy, doesn't it? The Bills are on a historic run right now. They have put up 30-plus points in 6 consecutive games. Since 2000, only 5 teams have had a longer 30-plus point streak than the Buffalo Bills are on right now. Matt Stafford, he has not been good since his Super Bowl run. He went 3-0 straight up as a dog that year. As a dog since, he's 3-15 straight up as a dog. In his career, he's 31-80 straight up as an underdog. Only wins 28% of the time. Give me the Bills in this one. Fairly easy. The Chicago Bears at the San Francisco 49ers to end the slate there in the afternoon games. The 49ers -3. Over under on this one is 44. Now, this one's interesting because Bears coach Matt Eberflus got fired this week. Teams in that spot where the head coach has been fired, 40 teams have done it dating back to 2003 in season like that. The teams are 18-22 straight up, and they're 23-17 against the spread in their first game the following week. There's a 10% difference there in covers than the norm because usually those teams are quite bad. So there is about a 10% bump for the interim coach. San Francisco is the second worst team in the entire NFL, just ahead of the Texans. Caleb Williams has been one of the better second half quarterbacks against the spread this season. He's gone 9-3 in second half spreads, the second best mark in the NFL behind just Josh Allen. The Bears lost to the Lions on Thanksgiving, as we know, and teams after facing the Lions are 2-9 against the spread, 16-28 against the spread over the last 3 seasons. Give me the Bears in this spot. I know it's kind of gross, but whatever. The Sunday night game, Chargers-Chiefs, Justin Herbert versus Patrick Mahomes. Currently on Bet365, the Chargers are +4. Over-under on this one is 43. Andy Reid is on a 6-game against the spread losing streak. The last time one of his teams has been on a streak like that was the 2012 Eagles. And Andy Reid has never lost 7 games against the spread in his career. As an underdog of 3 or more points, Justin Herbert is 10-2-1 against the spread in his young career, including 6-1-1 against the spread in the AFC West. This year, Patrick Mahomes is 4-0 straight up, 3-1 against the spread in night games. And in his career, he is 27-19-1 against the spread. Since his rookie year, it's the 3rd best mark by any quarterback in night games. That being said, I'm going to take the Chargers in this one. Andy Reid gets some new history on his bag there. I'm going to give him 7 against the spread losses in a row. And then the Monday night game that couldn't be moved because it's a Simpsons broadcast and too much pre-production had been made and locked in place. This game sucks also, but it's going to be cool to watch the Simpsons version. The Cincinnati Bengals are -5.5 at the Dallas Cowboys. Over-under on this one is 49.5. Monday Night Football overs are the play this year. They are 12-4 on the season so far. It's going to be Joe Burrow's 4th career start on Monday Night Football. He's 1-2 straight up, 0-2-1 against the spread in those games, being listed as a favorite in all 3 starts. If the Bengals don't cover this week, he would join only Case Keenum with 4+ Monday Night Football against the spread, no covers. Cooper Rush has made 10 starts in his career. Dallas is actually 7-3 against the spread in those spots. When he's listed as a dog of 7 points or more, he is 2-3 against the spread. All other spots, he's 5-0. Give me the Bengals. Can't really back the Cowboys. It's gross. All right, that's going to round up Week 14 in the NFL. Here's a neat little graphic of my plays. The first one is the custom odds boost right up now on the Bet365 homepage. You just need Jalen Hurts 2 touchdowns. The rest is easy. If we can get 2 tush pushes or a scramble in, you get Jalen Hurts 2 touchdowns, A.J. Brown over 70 yards, Eagles money line. That's +850. Bet number 2, the Jets stink. Aaron Rodgers is horrible. Take the Dolphins -6 in Miami. And then the third one, a little bit trappish, but I like the Cardinals versus Seattle at home to cover the 2.5 there. So that's it for week 14 here on PHLY Bets. Thanks to our friends over at Bet365. Use promo code PHLY365 when you sign up, and you can get $150 in bonus bets that you can use on futures, props, spreads, and more, and have a good time with it. And of course, as always, sports gambling is supposed to be fun. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, please reach out to 1-800-GAMBLER. You can call or text that number anytime. That's going to do it here. We got some Eagles pregame shows coming up on the station. Big one today with the Eagles and Panthers. But everybody out there, hope you have some success on the betting slate this weekend. Have a good time with it. And we'll see you again soon here on PHLY Bets.
We all silly like the mayor.